We are doing our favorite thing to do on this episode, and that's talk the Beatles. And Matt is outside and propless, so I guess I'm the prop master. And while Matt probably has half a dozen copies of each of these, I have a CD of each. This was probably, so we're doing A Hard Day's Night and Beatles for Sale. And did these come out the exact same year, 1964? That's the copyright date.
Yep,
anyway.
Yep. Both 64.
Which one first, do you know?
Hard Day's Night first. Yep.
That's what I thought. This was probably the first of the older Beatles records I owned on CD. So it's probably one of the ones I've listened to the most. I think this was one of the last ones I purchased. I know it wasn't the last one I purchased, but this is going to be interesting. This is going to be fun. We're comparing track one versus track one, et cetera, for those of you just joining us. And track one on A Hard Day's Night should be no surprise. It's the title track, A Hard Day's Night. I know track one on Beatles for Sale, Matt, but why don't you say it?
Yeah, this is No Reply. Great song, great Lennon lead vocal, great Lennon pen tune. I mean, this is basically Lennon is the master of the songwriting for the Beatles, right around this time. This is
a great album if you're a John fan, for real, for sure. I like No Reply. I don't know if it should be the first track on a record, let alone when it's pitted against A Hard Day's Night in this scenario. So I mean, Hard Day's Night, that's one of the, if you have to do 5 iconic Beatles songs, 4 or even 3, it's going to be in there. So Hard Day's Night for me, as much as I like No Reply, as a unconventional lead, I think, as a sad song, slower sad song. Matt, you going for it?
It is a strange opener, but I just love it so much. And, it's still fresh to me. Beatles for Sale, kind of like you, it was one of the last Beatles albums I'd listened to. I'd listened to Hard Day's Night a bunch, Please Please Me. And then, I gravitated towards the middle era stuff. I just kind of skipped over Beatles for Sale.
Yeah, I do. And it doesn't have the most grabbing album art.
No.
These dour dudes. Fab Four to the dour dudes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it to No Reply. I feel like I need to give some love to Beatles for Sale, and this is like its chance, I think, is to get some points early on. So as much as I love A Hard Day's Night, a little burnt out on it, love No Reply.
There are there are tracks we're going to get to that I think are some of the most underrated Beatles tracks on Beatles for Sale. So I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep for me by any means. But track 2 on Hard Day's Night is another good one. It's called I Should Have Known Better. Should Have Known Better.
Also the B-side to A Hard Day's Night, which was released as a single separately in the United States. I love that song. Love that John song, John lead. The harmonica even doesn't bother me, and I generally don't like harmonica, but it works on that song. But it's going
a lot of harmonica, yeah.
It's going up against my favorite song on Beatles for Sale, I'm a Loser. Which is another John lead, but it's kind of a country rocker and very influential to bands like the Byrds and stuff like that. And you know what, man? I'm giving another one to Beatles for Sale. I'm going with I'm a Loser.
It's tough. They're kind of similar songs a little bit.
No harmonies really in either of them, too. I mean, I'm a Loser does on the chorus, but on the verses, it's pretty much just John. With I Should Have Known Better, there's some doubling of the melody, I guess, on the I should have known better. I mean, Paul's singing along with him, but for the most part, that's a pretty exposed John vocal too. Yeah, I'm also
going for Beatles for Sale because that's a song that's been in my head all day after listening to both albums through constantly the past couple of days since we decided to do this. So yeah, if it's that much of an earworm, it gets the edge. Mm-hmm. If I Fell is track 3 on Hard Day's Night. And that's kind of a slow dance song. If I Fell in Love with You, would you promise to be true? They're in total boy band phase at this era. What is track 3 on Beatles for Sale?
Babies in Black. So what do you feel about If I Fell? What is your opinion on that? I don't want to show my hand because you don't know if I like it or not. What do you think?
I like both of these songs. It's If I Fell is a little sappy, Babies in Black is this, country rock song that you think you would, I mean, the black in it makes you think the Stones covered it. Of course they didn't, but you're like, the Stones would have killed it probably better than the Beatles did. I like If I Fell.
I'm
I
gonna let you go first because
yeah,
I
I
think
think
I've
we
answered
should
first.
we should
the last two.
alternate this because I don't want to fall into your trap. I'm going to go with Babies in Black though. I think
Wow.
yeah, wow.
No, it surprises me. Actually I don't know anybody who likes that song, so that's cool. You're the first person I think I've ever heard say anything good about that song, and it went up, and you picked it over a song that I have at my favorite song on a
It's your
Hard Day's
favorite
Night.
song?
Yeah,
I think it's a good song.
Stick to your guns, man. I dig that. That's
It's just it has
fortitude,
the
man.
holding hand, it's just
Yeah,
there's a
the
lot of
lyrics
that
suck.
on this. That's where I'm at.
But you connect with lyrics. You're a
I'll stick
lyric
with
guy.
it. I
Good.
am a
Yeah.
lyric guy, and when it's just about when they're talking about holding hands and stuff, my eyes kind of roll into the back of my head. Babies in Black, I don't know. It's not a great song. Is it a cover? Is it an original?
No, it is
Yeah,
an
it's an original.
The concept of the song is obviously
She's so sad because she's with another guy that she's wearing black all the
it's
time.
straying. It's straying from some of their more traditional lovey-dovey lyrics, but I think they're trying a little too hard to be artistic with it. So it's like, to me, like Babies in Black and I'm Feeling Blue. I mean, yeah, it's back to back with another country song. I'm a Loser just absolutely slays it. So it's like
Oh
it's a
yeah, I'm a
really
Loser is much better, but yeah.
disappointing because they're going with the same kind of theme. So If I Fell, yeah, the lyrics are so juvenile, and it's kind of really disappointing because A Hard Day's Night is like the Beatles maturing lyrically, right? I mean, that's like their best lyric writing up to that point in Beatlemania or whatever.
There's no
but
covers on this that I like.
none. No, it's
Yeah,
their first
there's the
album
first one.
with
Yeah,
all original. But If I Fell has the best harmonizing of Paul and John up to that point, and maybe I would say that and like Two of Us, like those are like their two best harmonizing songs. And Ballad of John and Yoko, which I'm not a huge fan of that song, but they do great harmonizing in that song. I love it. When I did the ranking of the tracks off of Hard Day's Night at that particular time, I put that as my number one, and it made my top 25 Beatles songs of all time. But I'm not a lyric guy, so I don't hold that against the song. But yeah, the lyrics suck, and you know what?
I wonder
the lyrics
if
suck
it's
on a lot of early Beatles songs. So it's just par for the course at that point.
well, I'll probably regret that call later. But speaking of lame,
My sister hates If I Fell. My sister hates that
I don't
song.
hate it. It's just like I think, and maybe it's because it's a little fresher to me. When I was listening to it today, it was another one that I was finding interesting the way it went up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I don't
the way it swung.
I don't hate Babies in Black. Babies in Black is a so-so song for me.
But this is another boy bander. I'm Happy Just to Dance with You is track number 4. Oh.
George's voice sounds like crap though. It's that same type of
This is the George vocal.
that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a George Penn tune as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
I do believe. Does it say on your
it just says words and music, John Lennon and Paul McCartney on the back of the CD. So
well, then I'm mistaken. Then you're right. You know what? He didn't write it. You're right.
Yeah.
He's just.
But he does. He is the singer. Yeah. I know he sang one on each of these, and I couldn't remember which one it was. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. It's yeah. But what's it up against on Beatles for Sale?
The Chuck Berry cover of Rock and Roll Music, which does have a good Lennon vocal. They covered Chuck Berry on with the Beatles. George sings "Roll Over Beethoven," and his vocals really suck on that song. So John, singing this particular cover, it's an upgrade, but I don't honestly think Rock and Roll Music is a better song than. I actually think "Roll Over Beethoven" is a better song than Rock and Roll Music, and for that, I'm going to give it to George. I'm Happy Just to Dance with You.
I just dance with you.
I don't like that song either. I don't like either of these songs. So I'm going to go with the original. John's vocals are better, but
yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one because I put them both.
No,
quite
I'm
low.
gonna go with the cover. I'm gonna go with the cover.
Oh, right on.
Based on those vocals.
Yeah.
It's no twist and shout, but it's all the way there.
Well, in that song, Rock and Roll Music was one that they were doing back in like 60, 61, like in the Cavern Club and in Hamburg and stuff like that. I mean, that song was road tested. I mean, even though this is their fourth album, Beatles for Sale, they've been doing rock and roll music since Who Laid the Rails. I mean, that's one of their, and a lot of the covers on Beatles for Sale.
They're that early
were
rock and
songs
roll.
that they've been playing for years and years and years. Yep. So they were well oiled, well tuned.
And knowing what we have coming up, I feel okay giving the win to that one. Slower, and I Love Her, a pretty Paul song. It's no If I Fell, but what's it up against on Beatles for Sale?
Another Pretty Paul song, and I should say this. So I used to do some of these track versus tracks on my personal YouTube channel. I never did these two against each other because one album has 13 tracks and one album has 14 tracks, and we remedied that.
Yeah.
So when we get to the end, well, Jacob, you can talk about that. But I've never actually gone track versus track with these two albums ever. So this is really fun. It's going up against another Paul ballad, "I'll Follow the Sun," which is a beautiful Paul ballad.
I'm going to go with "I'll Follow the Sun" because it's pretty. I like the sun. I don't like "Here Comes the Sun," but I'll go with "I'll Follow the Sun" because "And I Love Her" is just a little too treacly. I mean, that's where we get into the fun rockers are fun, the treacly ones are treacly. So I'll Follow the Sun. How about you, Matt?
Yeah. So "And I Love Her" is actually my wife's like favorite song off of A Hard Day's Night.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
And I actually cover that song when I do solo shows. However, I don't like the production of it on A Hard Day's Night because they do a Latin like samba thing with it, with claves, and it sounds like some kind of hand percussion, maybe like a conga drum or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, and there's castanets that, that very trebly click sound, you hear as the castanet. So I hate the production on it. I'll Follow the Sun, I've always loved, and it's actually like a song Paul wrote when he was like 12 or 13. It's one of his early compositions, but I think it's right there. That's the mark of a genius. If a kid can write a song like that, and I still like, and once again, I talk about my sister a lot because she and I were kind of exploring this music at the same time because we, started looking through our dad's music collection, and she always hated this song, and she always gave me crap for liking it. And I've never wavered on it. I love "I'll Follow the Sun." Yeah.
Oh, it's universal. Yeah, and it's beautiful in its simplicity. "Tomorrow may rain, so I'll follow the sun."
Yeah, and there's that great bridge in the middle, "And though the time has come, and so my love I must go," and John's doing that low harmony on it.
Oh, yeah. Their harmonies on Beatles for Sale are exceptional. Yeah.
They are. They really are.
Sometimes I can't even tell who's singing because it's blended, who's meant to be the lead. And yeah, that's what I was admiring this today, listening to Beatles for Sale. I was like, wow, like, is that John doubled or is Paul doing something crazy? Not on this song in particular, but on ones we get to later. Now we're at track number 6, "Tell Me Why," as in tell me why you cried and why you lied to me. Boo, boo. What's it up against? I like it. That's a good song.
So I'm going to sing the title. Is that all right? Because I think it's the only way to do it. And whether you think I like it or not, that will be determined because I think you go first on this one. Mr. Moonlight.
Mr. Moonlight. I really shouldn't like Mr. Moonlight. I've been wrestling with this all day. Whenever it would come up, I'd be like, this seems like a song I should hate. And it's a cover. It has to be a cover, right? Yeah, whoever Johnson is. I think Johnson. if this was a Paul cover, if Paul was singing this, I would hate it. I think I would flat out hate it. But I love you, Mr. Moonlight. But is it good enough to beat "Tell Me Why"? I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, here's the problem with this record. The songs are so simple that you you underrate them. Tell Me Why is really good. I have to give it to Tell Me Why versus Mr. Moonlight versus the cover. As much as I think I like it a lot more than I should because of the John vocal and even he's a little nasal. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, it's the same. I actually don't like Mr.
Yeah.
Moonlight.
Oh, well,
I think it's
need
annoying.
to open your heart.
I will say Tell Me Why is not one that I particularly like either. They actually call this the butt song. This is the one that on the Ed Sullivan that the camera got him from the backside. So yeah. And then they do that stupid little falsetto. There's a moon in you. I hate that. Cause I'm in love with you. It's got some good harmonizing though. And it's got the chorus to start the song off with, which is kind of interesting. But tell me why. Good bass line, good walking bass line. Yeah, I don't really like the song that much, but yeah, way better than Mr. Moonlight.
Oh, I like them both. I really like track number 7, even though it is one of the most overplayed songs of all time. It's called Can't Buy Me Love. I have nothing to say about it. Nothing to say other than great classic Beatles song. What's number 7 on Beatles for Sale?
It's going up against not a great classic Beatles song, the Kansas City Hey 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 Little Richard medley that Paul.
Yeah, I hate it when Paul sings like Little Richard. It's like, I think I've covered this on the show before. I don't need to do it again, but I'm sure it killed in Hamburg. I'm sure it knocked them dead. Easy. That's probably the easiest call we're gonna have, right?
That's too easy. Yeah.
Oh, anytime at
all.
Right,
so hey, it's side 2 for Hard Day's Night. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't have a record of either of these. The reason I don't have a record of either of these is because every time I see these in the shop, I see Beatles 65 and I see the US version of Hard Day's Night, which is half of the songs and then the other half is the score. We'll come back to that here in a little bit, but
so it is the end of side 1 for both.
Okay, I just need to suck it up and buy the reissues, but I never have.
Do you want to do a quick score check since we're both starting side 2?
I think I've done 2 for Hard Day's Night.
No, you got 3 for Hard Day's Night and 4 for Beatles for Sale. So Beatles for Sale's got a 1-point lead, and for me, it's they're just flipped. I've got 4 for Hard Day's Night, 3 for Beatles for Sale.
All right. Well, I think I just broke my case. Oh well. All good. Let's see if the fortunes change going up. Track 8, opening side B is Anytime at All, which I think when we talked about All You Have to Do, this is a song that always gets into my head when we're talking about All You Have to Do. Anytime at All is a good song. I love the vocals, love the energy of it. Again, classic rock Beatles, early rock or roll. What's it up against in the Beatles for Sale?
The big hit off the album, 8 Days a Week. So do you want to go first on this one?
No, I'm gonna do 8 days a week. As much as I like Anytime at All. The problem is I could make the case against 8 days a week because it's so overplayed, but how it starts like that on its own, I'd give it to 8 days a week. As much, and I like Anytime at All. I like Anytime at All a lot. The only thing on this, I think the only thing that could beat 8 days a week, probably A Hard Day's Night. That would be the 1-to-1 where it'd be like, I don't know, because they're both like so canonized. But you're gonna go with Anytime at All because you're a little stinker.
You know me too well. Yeah, I don't like 8 days a week. I've never
really.
Liked it. I do like the intro. I think the intro is cool. The fade in.
Yeah.
Yep. And the fade out at the end too. It does the same thing, but decrescendos at the end with that same introduction. The outro and the intro are the same, but they go in opposite volumes. Yeah, that's cool. That bridge. I like the harmonizing throughout. I always feel like this is a poor man's version of
Hard Day's Night.
All My Lovin', actually, off of With the Beatles, because it's got that walking bass line. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. They have that same walking bass line. Ooh, I need your love, babe. It sits kind of in a lower key too. It doesn't really have any. There's no energy to the range of the voices. I don't know. So I'm gonna anytime at all that John ripping open. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, it'd be a contender against pretty much. I mean, I'm not saying it 8 days a week is my favorite on there, but like, I'm not gonna
Since you
underrate it.
left me, woo, I'm on your side. And there's that great bridge with the oohing in there in the middle of any time at all. Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I'll Cry Instead is track 9 off of Hard Day's Night. I don't know. It's an okay song. What's it up against?
Buddy Holly cover, Words of Love. Words of Love.
See,
great harmonizing, 3-part harmonizing throughout. You got Harrison.
I don't think it's it's not an improvement though. Every time it comes up, I'm like, I know the song. I'd rather listen to the Buddy Holly version. I can't. So I'll Cry Instead. I'll go with this one.
Yep, me too. Yep, I like I'll Cry Instead. I got every reason on earth to be mad. Yeah, it's got a good John vocal to it. Well, I'm gonna leave away, get yourself another day. Well, I guess I'll cry instead. And then there's that cool little bridge in the middle where he's singing really quickly. Yeah, I like it. There's some cowbell in that song too.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? A little.
Yeah, there's some cowbell in a few of the songs actually on side 2 of Hard Day's Night.
10. Good. Another. I mean, what? I need to stop saying it. It's a good song. It's Things We Said Today. A little lower. I don't know, music. Yeah. I can't speak music. Is it in a lower key? It seems like
it's in minor too. You I'm thinking mine, girl, to the end of time. Then you got that great someday when I'm lonely, wishing you were so far away, then I will remember things we said today. Then that acoustic guitar starts strumming for the bridge. Me, I'm such a lucky kind. Love to hear you say that love is love. And though it may, I love that song, man.
Yeah. I mean, now that you've reminded me of all those different awesome parts, it's going to be hard for it to be beaten by Beatles for Sale.
It's going up against a turd too, so you don't even need to worry about it. It's Ringo's singing "Honey Don't," which is
okay.
Play another one for me, Joe. Play another one for me, George. Yeah, that sounds. Okay. Country type of song though. You know, this Beatles for Sale. If you like country rock, there's a lot of country-ish type songs. But yeah, Things We Said Today by a freaking galaxy, man. That's not even a fair fight. And that's how you feel too, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yeah, I want Things We Said to. No, I don't like Honey Don't. You can assume.
Ooh.
You can assume. Okay,
I was good. With your silence there, I was getting scared.
No, you took the one thing I was going to say about it. I like the "What more time for me, George?" He says it twice. Number 11. I have a whole lot of things to tell her when I get home.
I love her till the cows come home. When I get home tonight, I'm gonna treat her right. I'm gonna love her till the cows come home.
I didn't remember that lyric.
When she walked out the door again. Oh yeah, that's the bridge of When I Get Home. It's going up against Every Little Thing. Are you familiar with this song?
This has the every little
thing she does.
Oh no, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, that is a cool song.
Hell yeah.
There were 2 when I said like I needed a day, because there were like 3 or 4 songs. I think there were like 3 songs that I'm like, I don't know if I remember them very well. And that was one. And I was like, holy cow, how come people don't talk about this song? I think that's a very cool song. And I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go give it to Beatles for Sale.
Yeah, me too. Not even close. When I Get Home is my least favorite. I think I've ranked that as my least favorite song. That is unforgivable. I'll love her till the cows come home. There's no way that should ever be a lyric.
I blacked it out. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah. You know what? The song itself isn't bad. It just sounds like weaker versions of "I'll Cry Instead" and a couple songs that you'll be mentioning here in the next song that you'll be mentioning. It's just a weaker version of it. But I mean, it's not a bad song. It's just kind of a lame. This is a filler track. Every little thing, man. Let's talk about this for a second. You watched the Get Back documentary, of course, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're talking about, or there's a period, I think it's in the first episode where George is like, let's go back and do, because they were doing this television special, right? That was
Mhm.
the original plan. They were going to do this television special, then it became a movie, whatever, a concert on the roof. And he was one of the ideas was to start like pulling some deep tracks or songs that just didn't do any business, and like reworking them or just like having people refamiliarize themselves with it. And that's one. He plays the opening section to Every Little Thing. That song is so criminally underrated. A lot of people don't even know it exists. And if I could turn you on to a great version of it, the band Yes, you've heard of the band Yes, of course, right? Their very
Yes.
first album, they cover it, and I actually like it better than the Beatles version.
Really?
Yeah, it's not too proggy. Yes didn't get too proggy until like their third or fourth album. It's kind of more psyche, and it's short, but it's a ripper. Yeah, I love that song.
Number 12, You Can't Do That. He'll lay you flat if you he's told you before, you can't do that.
Another cowbell song.
It's not as bad as Run for Your Life, Little Girl, but it is vaguely threatening. And that might be what holds it back on whatever it is on Beatles for Sale. But let's hear it.
Dude, this is you may not like this one. This is I Don't Want to Spoil the Party.
Oh yeah, this is the one. I think this is the most underrated Beatles track, possibly.
It is. And the title is so lame, right? For when I was a kid, I used to think like, I don't want to spoil the party. That's the lamest title. I mean,
well, here's
didn't even want to like it. I didn't even want to like it because of the title. But man, the harmonizing that they do in this song,
with the tempo changes, still love her. That part,
yes,
that part is that is the top. So the main part of the song, or when it starts, it's kind of lame country rock song. He's a little drunk. Like it's okay.
But tonight is make me glad. I still love her. That part
is like why wasn't this a huge hit? So yeah, You Can't Do That's fine, but I'm going for that. I've lost count, but it's fine. I still love her. Yeah, that's cool. It's what it should have been called too, because it's a better, yeah. Oh, maybe not. It's not as evocative as I Don't Want to Spoil the Party.
I'm agreeing with you, but that actually hurts probably more than anything so far for me, because
you Can't Do That?
I love You Can't Do That. As a matter of fact, Beatles.
She'll laugh in your face. They'll laugh in your face.
Just that. I got something to say that might cause you pain. If you get with the ball and the boy again, I'm gonna let you down. Gonna let you and leave you flat. Cause I told you before. Oh, you can't. I know a lot of people think this is one of the great early Beatles songs too. And then
it's a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song. But
I'm the one that got your love.
Yeah. It's
I get me singing more now.
I know, man. I don't want to spoil the parties. Maybe one that I've liked more in the last few years. So it just beats out You Can't Do That, which is one I've liked a lot longer. Yeah.
All right. Track 13, which isn't our final track, but it is the last track officially on this release, is the Zombie track, or the Arnold track. It's called I'll Be Back.
That's such a good song, isn't it? It
is a good song.
If you break my heart, I'll go, and I'll be back again. Do. Yeah, that's in the credits. You watched the Beatles anthology, right? In the mid '90s.
It's been a while, but yeah, I've watched that.
That was what they did the credits with at the end of each episode. Was I'll Be Back. That was the credit. Because I'll be back again,
with
right?
free like a bird. So
right.
They'll be back
and real love, right? So
we'll have to do that ranking eventually.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you like this track.
I like 13. I'll Be Back. I like coming up on
Beatles for Sale. It's What You're Doing. This is another song that's a deep. What you doing
to me. I do.
I like this
it.
song, man.
Yeah.
It's a McCartney tune. Pretty much this and like I'll Follow the Sun are like the only two like McCartney leads. I mean, I guess Kansas City too. That song sucks though. But the rest is like
No.
either just Lennon or it's Lennon with
Would
McCartney
you do
harmonizing.
it?
I love What You're Doing, but I
Yeah,
can't say I like it better than I like I'll Be
no.
Back better. But this one kind of hurts though too, because I really do like What You're Doing.
Yeah, and this is one I would say. I mean, of course, the ones I'd say are underrated are but they're originals at least, and they're just not, they don't get regular radio play. And I do like the kind of vocal loop de loops he does on What You're Doing. But yeah, I'll Be Back is where it is. So I am now that's a vote for me for Hard Day's Night. And track 14, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, another Carl Perkins. Oh, have they covered Carl Perkins before? I'm sure they have.
Yeah, it's the second time on this album they've covered, or excuse me.
He did Honey Don't. Yeah.
He did. Yeah, they cover him twice. So you're reading off the Beatles for Sale track now, huh?
Yeah.
So I'll do the.
Sorry, should we reset that because I messed it up?
No, that's okay. That's fine. So the Hard Day's Night track, because there's only 13
nothing.
tracks on the American version, which is actually the soundtrack album, not just a Hard Day's Night, the album proper. They have all the same songs. There's a few less though, because they stick those on the Capitol releases, but they do include the instrumental of This Boy, which is actually called Ringo's Theme, right?
It's Ringo's theme, or This Boy in parentheses, Ringo's theme, or the other way around.
Instrumental. It's just an instrumental of This Boy, which it's him walking down the cobblestone streets, like kind of kicking at the rocks and stuff like that. I love This Boy. So if it was This Boy, you know what? I hate Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby.
Originally I was going to be like, we should just do Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby versus a minute 45 of silence, or however long the song is. Because what, this is a George vocal, right?
It's a George vocal. Yeah, that's maybe why I rate Beatles for Sale a little higher than some people. Some people put it as their dead freaking last. If they rank the Beatles albums, they'll put Yellow Submarine ahead of it. They hate this album.
No.
This is the only Harrison vocal on this album, and they stick it at the end, and it's a song I don't listen to. I can just skip it. It's perfect.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
I'm going with the instrumental of This Boy over this.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that.
I can. I am.
I'm gonna give it to Beatles for Sale. I mean, if it was This Boy, that'd be easy peasy, but I listened to the instrumental of This Boy and it's fine. But versus like if we were doing silence for like an extra 2.5 minutes in the bathroom uninterrupted from family or friends, I might choose it over listening to the song.
Gosh.
But if I'm walking and I have to listen to one or the other, though, if I'm walking, I'm pretending I'm Ringo in A Hard Day's Night. I'm kicking pebbles.
That's right.
I'm feeling sad for myself. No, I'll throw another bone to Beatles for Sale. Let's do some math.
All right, I got it. I've been keeping the score. So I'll read my score off first. Then I'm gonna have you guess what the score is for you. Okay? Because you probably have no idea, right?
I don't. I'm not good at this.
So as we spoke, before we hit record here, Hard Day's Night to me is that's like Mount Rushmore of Beatles albums. If I had to pick my favorite four, I've done the rankings of the albums. And I don't think I included them in my top four, but if I wanted to represent different periods and have at least one from each period, that would have to be on there. Yeah. So Hard Day's Night went 9 and Beatles for Sale 5. So
wow.
Pretty good, solid win for Hard Day's Night for me. 9-5.
Well, it's the only one without any. I mean, if we're calling this the end of this era, because we're getting into Help and Rubber Soul, which is the mids. Yeah, this is the best album of the ones we've talked about early, because there's no covers. Like this, even the lazy songs are genius in their own way. But I think the originals are in here. I mean, and they're trying new things. This is, I mean, and that middle period is my favorite period, and this is kind of transitioning into that. I have a feeling So what? It's at 14. I doubt I did 7 and 7. I'm gonna say 8 and 6.
You got it. Yep, nailed it. Yep, you had Beatles for sale.
Close.
Win by 2.
If it was for this, yeah, if I'd given it to this boy, maybe it would have been a little closer. Then it would have been a
What a tie.
tie. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me, Matt. Please tell me how big of an idiot are if you're how big an idiot you are, how big of an idiot I am. If you are in the Babies in Black Brigade, come join me. If you are and if I fellow, yeah, your team
Follow
Matt.
me.
I can't justify it. I froze. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.